So, what do you do when the person who's supposed to support you the most blames you for your child's diagnosis? The shame, the loneliness, the feeling of not being enough. Let's talk about it. So, one thing I decided to do on my channel is ask me anything. And I invite all of you, send in your questions and we will address it. Even if I don't have the answers, I will find somebody that can help me answer your question. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay. So here's one question that I got. I'm going to read it out loud from my phone, and then after that, we will address it together. So, dear Alma, thank you for creating the Parent Forge. This is my situation, and I hope you can help me navigate this. My partner is blaming me for my child's diagnosis. He says it's my fault, and even my family's fault, even though there's no proof genetically. This has left me feeling so alone and unsupported in this caregiving journey. And on top of that, I feel depressed, ashamed, and lost, like I'm not good enough. And I think I'm internalizing these accusations, especially because he has other people backing him. How do I navigate this while still showing up for my child? All right. This is really heartbreaking when people who should stand with you turn around and just blame you. It really cuts deep. It feels like betrayal. And if you're feeling alone, ashamed, or not enough, you're not imagining it. That pain is real. And we definitely want to validate it. We don't want to invalidate you. People might not, but you want to validate yourself because what you're feeling is real. Because if the person closest to you, you made the baby together, right, is blaming you, then that's real. So whatever you feel is real. And often blame is a coping mechanism. So here's what's happening. Your partner is going through their own experience of processing the diagnosis. And sometimes people project fear, grief, helplessness onto people. So usually it's the person closest to them that gets it, right? And it doesn't make it right, but at least it helps us explain why it's happening. So maybe your partner is also going through his own process or their own process. I don't know if it's a woman or a man, but probably whatever they are doing is just their coping mechanism. And it might not even just be about you. It's just their own experience, and that's how they're dealing with the diagnosis. It doesn't make it right, but that could help us explain it. Number 3, here's what's true. Your child's diagnosis is not your fault. And even if genetically it was, genetics and disability are not something you caused. You didn't create yourself, and you didn't decide to be born in your family, right? So even if it's something that runs in your family, it's not your fault. So it's not something you need to carry. And shame thrives in silence. But the moment you speak it out loud, like you just did, even just by writing it to me or saying it to yourself, you start taking the power of shame away. So being able to write and say it out loud, that, hey, this is how I feel shameful, is already a win. So let's clap for you just for sharing it. Thank you for sharing this with me. And I appreciate you sharing this with me. But then what do we do with it? Right? I know you feel stuck. You don't know how to deal with it. So here are some practical things we can do. The first thing I want to introduce you to is radical acceptance. And one thing I always say is acceptance doesn't mean agreement, and acceptance doesn't mean you're going to be a doormat and let people walk all over you and maltreat you. Acceptance is acknowledging the reality of what you're dealing with, how it makes you feel, your thoughts, your feelings, and the experience you're having. So just by writing this to me and acknowledging it to yourself, you are already practicing radical acceptance. But then what do we do, right? And that brings me to the second part of acceptance, that is giving up the fight with what you cannot change or control and redirecting your energy towards building out a clear values aligned life for you and your child. So think about it. In this situation, in your child's journey and in this journey of caregiving, what can you control and what can you not? The truth is you cannot control other people's feelings. You cannot control their perceptions. You cannot control their reactions to your child. You cannot control what other people do. You can only control yourself and what you do and what you say and what actions you take and what steps you take to find support for you and your child. So the key thing is to stop focusing on what you cannot control and start focusing on what you can. Because you can spend your whole life trying to convince people that it's not your fault. And if they choose not to accept it, they will not. That's not in your power. Or you can spend your whole life trying to change other people's feelings, and you cannot do it. It's not possible. But here are some things you can do. You can start building a support circle for yourself. If the people closest to you are not supporting you, hey, find a therapist, join the Parent Forge listening circles, find a safe space where you can feel supported. Number 2, you can do self-care. You have control over what you do to take care of yourself, to stay strong for you and your child, because this caregiving journey is a long journey, right? And so you don't even want to spend that energy trying to convince people. Direct all that energy to taking care of you so that you can go into sustainable advocacy and caregiving instead of spending your whole life trying to convince people. And then another thing you do have control over is finding tools and resources that can remove barriers that prevent your child from thriving. So as you take care of you, you want to start thinking, what's in my control that I can find? What are things out there? What are tools out there and resources out there that I can find that will help remove barriers so that my child can live a fulfilling, thriving life? And another thing is you can use grounding affirmations. Look in the mirror every day and tell yourself, I am not to blame. My worth as a parent is not tied to my child's diagnosis. People might say whatever they want to say, but that is not me. I am awesome. I'm amazing. Me and my child are amazing. We're going to live the best life, and we're going to make sure that we thrive and enjoy this world. Say it to yourself every day. And that's going to start to build neural pathways. That's neuroplasticity. Because when everything you're hearing is negative, 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 if you don't take care, you will start to reinforce it, and that becomes your pattern. But when you can start telling yourself all the great things and envisioning all the awesome things you want to do with your child and the life you want to build, you start to build neural pathways that gets reinforced all the time. Because every time you're telling yourself this positive thing, what happens is that it starts to grow, and then now you can start to align your life to the vision and all the great things you're envisioning for you and your child. So here's a quick reframe for you. The best way to show up for your child is to show up for yourself first with compassion, not blame. People might blame you, but give yourself a lot of compassion. And your child does not need a parent that's carrying shame and blame. They need a parent who believes in their worth and who believes in them as a child. So if this resonated with you, know that you're not alone and you don't need to carry this alone, okay? So come to the Parent Forge, join a listening circle, connect with the community, and we are here to support you. And hey, if you have a question, drop your question in the comment if you're not shy, or send us your questions at contact@theparentforge.com. That's contact@theparentforge.com. And we're going to address your question, because here we talk real raw side of caregiving, because you deserve support too. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because you might have a question that you haven't shared, but probably somebody might send that question in, and that might answer what you've been struggling with. Take care and have a lovely, lovely day.